Hi everybody, I'm Kimberly Turner from cookingwithkimberly.com, and tonight I'm going to show you a really interesting, super neat recipe. This is how to cook ginger chicken soup in a pumpkin. So essentially our pumpkin is going to be the pot, and we're actually going to do this all in the oven. Now I like to use a pumpkin that has a nice thick amount of flesh. Some of the sugar pumpkins are a little bit thinner, but this one is nice and thick. This is called a fairy tale pumpkin or a musc de Provence, and these are especially lovely to do something like this with. Plus they are so gorgeous. I hate to cut this guy open. They're so gorgeous, it's a beautiful presentation as well. So I'm going to just like you're carving a pumpkin, I'm going to cut a hole in the top, big enough so that you can actually get a ladle in and your hand so that you can actually assemble things, okay? So cut a nice lid, and you're actually going to replace the lid while it's cooking. So make sure that you cut a nice sized one. So just take a nice sharp knife and work your way around, angling slightly inwards to the bottom, so that when the lid sits, it can sit right on top and not fall in. So lift that lid out. Lovely. And I'm going to empty the insides from this pumpkin and saving the seeds. I'm going to save some to plant next year, and I'm also going to save some of them to toast up for a snack. Now, I forgot to tell you, but this melon came from Harvest Barn Country Markets. Make sure you check out my review on this guy. They are absolutely beautiful, and they always have these gorgeous, really unique pumpkins out there. So after Halloween, you have a nice way to use these guys up. So I'm actually going to just cut a little bit off the top of this lid here. And I'm going to, you're going to see that this is a really thick, fleshed pumpkin. Look how deep that is. So that's a good 2.5 inches thick, okay? I'm going to cut a little bit from the bottom side of my hole so that I can actually get things in easier. Don't cut too much, and especially not around the bottom. Okay. You can use these extra little bits of pumpkin in the soup as well. So, there we go. Now, I'm just going to take a nice large spoon, and I'm going to scrape out those insides. Do whatever you have to do to get it out, okay? Okay, I have everything scooped out, and don't throw this stuff out. Separate those seeds. Make sure you check out my show for how to toast pumpkin seeds so you know what to do, and save some to plant next year because these are gorgeous pumpkins. All right, so I do have some extra pumpkin here that's going to go back into my pumpkin, so I might as well go ahead and just chop it up into nice bite-sized chunks that you wouldn't mind eating in a soup, and they're going right in right now, okay, to the pumpkin. Now, this is actually going to cook on a baking sheet. I'm going to put it on a silicone mat to make sure that things don't stick and we don't have a big problem. So onto the cookie sheet now, I'm going to put that. And let's get some ingredients started. Okay, so this is a ginger chicken soup, perfect for when it's cold outside, great for sore throats and sniffly noses as well. Now I'm going to throw some chicken in. I have it 3 drummies and a thigh. Fit whatever it is you can fit in here because there is limited space depending on what size of a pumpkin you're using. I'm going to slice up some celery. Sprinkle it in there. I'm going to slice up some carrots. If you want to add onions and garlic, please feel free to do so. I'm going to add some fresh parsley from my garden, minced up. I'm going to start preheating my oven now because it has to heat up to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to slice up some mushrooms. I have some beautiful fresh ginger from our Harvest Barn Country Markets as well. I'm going to grate some of this up, actually. I like to use the skin and all. It has healthy things in it for you. You could just throw in a chunk if you wanted to and fish it out at the end, but I really like to get my ginger into this kind of soup, especially since I'm using pumpkin. You're going to be able to scoop this pumpkin out also into your soup. Now, I've been making a broth on my stove. Yesterday I made it, and it's ready to go. It's warmed up now. And that's going to go into my pumpkin. Now, you could use water, you could use chicken stock, whatever kind of stock you want or desire. I'm adding a nice amount of ginger to this. So I have some extra broth. I made a whole bunch of stock yesterday. And you're only going to be able to fit so much in here, okay? But I do want my chicken to go in there and to cook with this broth. So I do have extra broth so that when you're done eating the things out of here, you're still going to have extra pumpkin to eat. And I'm also serving this with rice. So you're going to put that in your bowl, and it's going to, really complete the meal. But you can only fit so much in here. So have a little bit of extra stock ready, just so that in case you need it for the extra bowls, you have it, okay? Okay, so now it's time to season this up. I'm gonna add some whole peppercorns, and I'm seasoning it just like I would a stock on the stove. So about 8 peppercorns. I always have to have some spice, a little bit of chili flake. I'm gonna add a couple mustard seeds, a bay leaf. I'm gonna add 1 clove. My mom always adds 1 clove to her soups and stews. Plus, this is very pumpkin-y kind of spice cloves. And some salt. If you wanted to add a little bit of cinnamon stick, you may go ahead and do that. So let me just show you what's going on in here. I've got all those veggies lined up, spices, and I've got the chicken in here. And now we just need to fill it with stock. So I made this stock from some lovely vegetable clippings that I always, I save and I keep in resealable plastic bags in my freezer, and from the turkey carcass we had from Thanksgiving. So I have a nice, rich, dark turkey and veggie broth here. And I'm gonna fill it up to the pumpkin line where the bottom edge of that pumpkin flesh is. So fill that up to that lip. This is warm stock. I mean, you could use it cold if you wanted to, but we're going with a little bit warm. This is gonna be lovely. Can't wait. So you're gonna put that lid back on. And my oven is preheated to 400 degrees. It's ready to go. And into the oven goes my pumpkin. This pumpkin's gonna go for roughly 2 hours, I would say, okay? So I'm gonna check it in about an hour. I also wanted to make sure that you wash the outside of your pumpkin off. Soap and water, rinse it nice, and make sure that it's nice and clean before you throw it in there. So there you go. 1 more hour, and I guess you're gonna see what's going down in about an hour. Okay, this is heavy and this is hot. It's been going for about an hour. And let's take a quick look at this guy. It looks awesome. I'm just gonna use some tongs to get this lid up. Not burning myself. Oh, everything smells amazing. We've likely got another hour to go here. So I'm just gonna stir things up, make sure all is well. If you feel like you want to or could add a little bit more broth, go ahead and do that. It looks like there's a little bit more room in here now. A little bit more broth. Fabulous. You can see that it's starting to really roast up. The outside's getting a little bit softened too. Lovely. This is exactly what we want. Okay, so lid back on. Beautiful. And back in the oven for about another hour. Okay, so I have some rice in my bowl, and I'm just gonna serve some of this up. Lovely, lovely stuff going on here. Now, I'm gonna get some of these veggies, some of this nice broth. I'm gonna grab one of these chickens out, pieces of chicken. Get a drummy for myself. There's one of them. I'm just going to put them to the side for a moment. Go. Get myself a piece of chicken. That way it's a little easier to get some of that broth out too. Now, make sure you get some of the squash. Take yourself a different kind of spoon and just scoop some of the squash. Start at the top if you can. And that goes in your bowl too. Gorgeous. Smells so good. I can smell that ginger. Boy. Get some mushrooms. So there you have it, a hearty ginger chicken soup inside of the pumpkin, with the pumpkin now all beautiful in there. All those tender veggies, that rice. Oh, I can't wait to try it. Garnished with a little bit of fresh parsley, and it looks so beautiful. So now all that's left to do is to try it. Break that pumpkin up. It looks so beautiful. A bright orange. These pumpkins are particularly bright in color. Ginger is just the perfect herb to use when it comes to pumpkin. Delicious. Very seasonal, very tasty for the cold weather, which is very cold here today. That's fantastic. Now, you could take the chicken off the bones before you serve it to everybody, or you can let them do it themselves. So good. Boy, that's good. Now, if you wanted to brown up the chicken first, I've done that too. You can, for sure, you can do that before you put it in. That is a great soup. It's nice and hearty. I can use a fork with it too. Awesome. What a beautiful way to serve soup. You can bring this to the table. Such a conversation piece. So surprising to people because most people have never even thought of doing something like this. Like I said, try to use a pumpkin that has that nice, thick flesh. Some of them are quite a bit thinner. Anyhow, lovely, lovely way to serve it. It's just beautiful and so hearty, so tasty, really nutritious. Perfect. So I hope you try this recipe. Be sure to get out to Harvest Barn Country Markets or your local market, wherever you are, and get yourself another pumpkin so that you can try this, okay? I hope that you try it. This is how you cook ginger chicken soup in a pumpkin. So easy, so cool. All right, follow me on Twitter at Cooking with Kim E with a capital E. Like the fan page at facebook.com/cookingwithkimberly. My shows are on ifood.tv/cookingwithkimberly, youtube.com/cookingwithkimberly, and you can find me syndicated on Roku. Come to my website at cookingwithkimberly.com and subscribe. Interact with us and let us know what's going down in your culinary world, all right? Be a champion in your kitchen and eat deliciously. Bye.